So what I want you guys to do is either think about or write something down on a piece of paper that you have in front of you. And I want you to think back of your latest projects that you have been or that you have been part of. And think about these questions. So first off, how would you grade your own productivity and effort within the project? You can write it down if you want to. You can put it in the chat box. Think about what kind of grade would you give yourself, how you acted and behaved during the project. Now think about how you would grade the effort and productivity of one of your team members. Write it down too. The third question: before you started on your project, did you believe that the project was going to be a success? So, of course, looking back to it, you will probably have a really clear answer for that. But look back at the first moment that you heard or kicked off your new project. And did you actually believe that the project was going to be a success from the start? Write it down. I will come back later on. So keep your notes to yourself and make sure you will keep track of them during the presentation. The last question that I want you either to think about or write down: what were the results at the end of the project? Was it a success or did it fail for some sort of reason? But what were the results? Think of it, write it down. You can pick any project that comes up in your mind. That's all good. And I will make sure I will get back to it later on. All right. Bartwin.
Yes. So while you're jotting down those answers to those interesting questions, I would like to take you back to the reason for our bit of research and the reason for our writing. Being business consultants and agile coaches and being in this area, we were struck by the question of why do these transformations fail? So how come that so many companies are working on a transformation or trying to change, spend a lot of money on it, and then seem to fail in the end or underperform to their expectations? So as I say research, you probably know that there has been quite a bit of research written around about transformations and why they fail, or at least the rate at which they fail. But we just picked out one key statistic for you to think about, and that's this one. If you're looking at the amount of companies trying to make or acting or executing a big transformation, you would see that in the US alone, 93% of the companies are working on change, trying to transform as an organization. And in the light of the current COVID affairs and how that is affecting our economy, you would maybe state even 100% of the companies, even in the world, are thinking about changing, adapting, or pivoting to the new demands of the market. So. And with that change comes a lot of money being spent. And the amount that you see on the screen, the 10 billion US dollars yearly, is just on management consultancy fees alone. So that is not even including the changes that you make within the company, the cost and expense that you have on that area. So that is a lot of money being spent on change. So we would think if so many companies are working on change, you would have all the best brains in the world, and I'm saying that without trying to be funny here, but you have very smart people working in the consultancy business, very educated people who know and have done their homework and are very aware and talented, working on that change. You still see that there is a big number of failure of those changes. That leads us to a conclusion, or to let this research that we're quoting, to a 74% failure rate. So if you think about those numbers, then it becomes an interesting question. Why do these transformations fail? And this led us to the next question.